Morning, welcome back to Greasy Boy Customs. Today, we're going to be putting a power steering conversion on this 64 C10 Chevy. Now, it's already equipped with a 350, and that's what this kit is designed for. So let's get it started. This kit, CPP, I think we bought this from Eckler's. See, it comes with your steering shaft mounting hardware, pump, hoses, pitman arm, rag joint, new steering shaft adapter, gearbox, power steering pump mounts, some more brackets, and I have no idea what this is for. I would have an idea, but nothing comes with instructions anymore. So I guess we're just gonna have to look them up online and find them. We'll try that. And no instructions on Eckler's website, but here's the kit, by the way. You can pause the screen if you want to see that. Let's keep digging, find more. So you get this in the package. It tells you about the steering shaft, right? This is the only other thing. If you go to CPP's website, they have handwritten instructions. One thing they don't cover in here, though, is the power steering pump mounting bracket. And you can go right here, boom, and this gives you the instructions on mounting their power steering pump bracket with the pump. There we go. That's not too bad. We'll hold on to that. They tell you to go ahead and take the pitman arm off. Don't. Just leave it on the gearbox. Disconnect your rag joint, and we're going to unbolt the gearbox. This is a 12-point. Separate our pitman arm from our steering link. Boom, off. Rag joint's off. Key is out. Nut is loose. Now, if you don't have a pickle fork to separate right here, sometimes you can get away with taking a hammer and striking it on the receiving part, and it'll pop off. Well, and there you go. Here's the old versus the new gearbox, just so you get a side-by-side comparison. Let's start prepping to install this. We're talking about having to drill out a hole in the gearbox. This hole is threaded, so the bolt can actually pass through here and thread into there. So you have to drill this hole out to fit to this bolt. So let's drill it. Voila. This is our outer bracket. You'll notice that this hole and this hole line up with factory holes. However, this hole does not, that hole does not. And this one is threaded. We're going to be drilling through the frame in this hole, and then we're also going to be drilling the hole on the gearbox that goes to here. So outer plate's in, inner plate's in, and we've got these two bolts hand tight to use as a guide plate. Let's get these drilled out. So we have our plate in place. You can see if you drilled your holes right, everything lines up. This is the larger of the bolts. These three are identical. Now, this is still in the way. We're going to be getting to that a little bit later. We are going to be cutting this off, so we are going to go ahead and just cut a little bit off to get it out of our way. We're going to go back about 3 inches, somewhere right in here. Cut that off. Now we can put the box on. It's a lot easier with 2 people, but if you don't have 2 people, just do it by yourself and don't hurt your back. Oh, I should really get help. This is stupid. All right, we got one started. We left the gearbox hanging by 1 bolt so we can go ahead and prep the steering shaft. Remember, we cut it back about 3 inches. Well, they send you a new steering shaft, and you'll see it's square on this end. So if you have a double D shaft, like an aftermarket steering column, you're good. If not, you need to cut it off right here where it starts getting round so it will slide on. We'll secure that later, but leaving this loose allows us to slide this on, then we can flip it around. Another thing you need to keep in mind, turn your gearbox lock to lock. Count how many turns. It's roughly about 3 turns, and then make sure you have it back at center. Make sure you have your pitman arm centered. There is a master keyway. If you look a little bit closer, you can see not all the splines are the same. So do that in preparation. Clean your shaft. Look at that. Slide this just kind of up out of the way for now. Get this gearbox bolted back on. Ta-da! So we got everything hooked up here. Bolts are tight. Slid our shaft down into place. There's 2 bolts like this, one on the other side. They are different sizes. This one is small, that one is larger. Make sure you have it set right. Steering gearbox is centered. Steering is centered. Steering shaft wheel is centered. Slide this down. Now we have to secure this to this. There's a couple different options. Now you can weld it, but then guess what? It's not coming back off if you ever need it to. So I would avoid that. You can do set screws, or you can drill all the way straight through, straight being the key word, straight through, and put a bolt in place. And not some cheap garbage bolt. A nice, good quality bolt that is not included with the kit. Oh, by the way, found out what this thing's for. It goes on top of the gearbox there, where these 4 holes are. Comes with that. We're going to have to check the instructions and see if this is a necessity. I think it's really just cosmetic, so we're going to skip this for now. And there you go. The pump is mounted. We've run our lines. Now, we just cut out the bottom of the inner fender to run our lines. You don't have to do it that way. You can route it different ways. Now, you do have to pay attention to your exhaust. See, we're kind of close there, so we're going to secure these out of the way, and then we're actually going to put a heat protective wrap on them so they don't get hot. The only thing you have left to do is select the right pulley for your application, refer to that chart that was in the instructions we showed earlier, and then put your belt on and fill it up with new fluid. Well, and there you go. That's going to wrap this job up. Overall, this kit was pretty nice. There's only a couple things left to do here, though. You need to finish installing your pulley and install the correct length belt, and then we're going to raise and support the vehicle on jack stands and fire the engine up and turn it completely lock to lock several times in both directions. 1, to ensure that the air is being bled out of the system, and 2, to make sure that all of your clearances are good. You're not scrubbing, hitting, rubbing on anything, especially in a vehicle like this that has been lowered. Now, the only thing I would have changed about this kit is I would have made the ends of the pressure fittings swivel fittings so that you have a little more versatility with how you run your lines. Aside from that, though, pretty happy with the kit. Good price, easy install, fit well. Till next time, happy hot rodding.